started. Hey everybody, welcome. This is Mr. Hardcore Mode, where nothing's easy. Here with another Dragon Age Veilguard little news up on Game Informer regarding the difficulty options on the game. One that particularly got my interest was the fact that you can just turn on the no death option in the game, and we're gonna go check that out. And yeah, here we go. Anyway, a look at Dragon Age Veilguard's difficulty options and gameplay customizations. I am going to honestly skim this down because well, I don't like the way they say certain things on here. It's like there's one option thing right here where it says it's easily the best character creator in the series history and possibly the most robust. Well, obviously, because it's been 10 years and you know they haven't really done anything. To the ability to pick pronouns separate from gender and more. This is creator speaks directly to the inclusivity of Veilguard. I don't want to hear about all that mumbo jumbo that they're saying. I'm just, yeah, that's fucking crazy. Yeah, I heard. I was just talking about that. Anyway, I am on this part right here. Before starting the game proper, a playstyle screen always allows players to customize various options affecting how Veilguard plays. Here, you can select difficulty or a playstyle, as BioWare calls it, with options like Storyteller, for those interested more in story versus the combat, Adventurer, for an experience that seamlessly balances pretty much normal mode of combat, and a difficulty called Nightmare. And there might be more, but which is odd because in Dragon Age previously there were 4 options: easy, normal, hard, nightmare. So it's like they took one away, but it's fine. It is what it is. But this part right here really kind of irks me. They have also a nightmare mode, but this is all to see during the demo. So apparently there's gonna probably be a demo just for Game Informer, hopefully for us. I would like to play a demo for you guys, try out the game. I'll still give it a try. I'm trying. I need to do this for you guys, to play the game and test it out and be like, hey, yeah, this is not it. But I'm gonna give it a try. At any point during Veilguard, you can change the game's difficulty unless you select Nightmare, just like the previous games, which is the hardest of difficulties. That's a permanent selection. There's another difficulty option called Unbound, though allowing players to customize their gameplay experience to their liking. You can adjust how wayfinding helps you in-game. There's aim assist and even an auto-aim option. You can adjust combat timing to make parrying easier or harder, with a balanced, forgiving, and third harder option. You can change how much damage your enemies do to you and how much damage you do to enemies by adjusting their health. There's also an option to adjust enemy pressure. I also want to add on this whole thing where I kind of wish that if they did a nightmare mode, because it sounds like they don't have anything special with the nightmare mode. Whereas in other games, much like I want things to be like Baldur's Gate 3, where it's not like you go into nightmare mode and the enemy's health bar is all the way up. They're more likely to not miss, and they're more likely to do critical hits on you, and that's it. That's it. There's nothing more. Whereas in Baldur's Gate 3, they have a special honor mode where it's just like, you know, it's just like they have a legendary selection for all bosses, and they have some sort of new unique ability that they can do, which I find really fascinating. Instead of enemies bar goes up, your bar goes down, sort of thing. More custom, you know, something to give the game more flavor. Instead of so it's not like, oh man, I really don't want to do nightmare, but I really want to check out the boss's nightmarish new abilities for that. And I don't like it when games are like, I mean, I'll tolerate it, but when the game is difficult, it's just enemies, big bar of health, big bar of crit damage. That's all I see, and I'm just like, oh, this is it. I want something special with the harder modes, some sort of modifier or legendary status on bosses. But anyway, let's continue. There's another difficulty called Unbound, though allowing players to customize their own experience and yada yada yada. There's also an option to adjust enemy pressure, and if you're not interested in death-related setbacks, there's no death option you can turn on. None of these options are a cheat, Bush tells me. It's an option to make sure players of all abilities can show up. It's an option to make sure players of all abilities can show up. She also, players can look forward to similar accessibility and approachability options you might expect, though I'm unable to pour through Veilguard's other options to confirm exactly what's there. Here's the thing. This is the big thing that dude's just said. I'm gonna say dude because it is a dude. It's an option to make sure players can show up. This is the biggest point right here. What's their reason for putting a no death thing in here in the first place? Yeah, I can understand that people are like, well, there's options, so it's up to you. I think that it's more than that, because this is the reason right here. It's an option to make players of all abilities can show up. Nigga, what are you talking about? This is for lazy people. A no death option is for lazy people. It's lazy for the devs. It's lazy even for the player base. I have seen people with one eye, no jaw, one hand, 3 fingers play this game and utilize their new they like make their own sort of controller to play this game. It's an option to make sure players of all abilities can show up. This person's only he doesn't want to step on anybody's toes. That's what the no death thing is. It's gonna backfire on them, but to me, it just shows where it's just like, well, you know, it's like we don't want anybody to get upset, so how about no challenge if you prefer? What if they're disabled? What if they're mentally ill? He's like, I know some people out there, it's like, nigga, just play in storyteller mode. Storyteller mode will you have storyteller mode right here. It's right up top. Storyteller mode. Right there. For everybody to see. In storyteller mode, and I think that's great that you have an unbound mode where you can change how enemies do certain things for you. But if you put a no death thing on there, I know you want to put a blogger or a journalist mode in there where it's just no deaths and you could just walk right through. You already have your I just want to experience mode, which is called storyteller. You're not going to have any challenges whatsoever. You can walk on in. You know how boring the game gets when you have no deaths? You know how boring it is? I understand that there could be cheats out there, and that's fucking great. That's cool. You can have your little cheats, and that's fine. That's cool. But when you come out and you say, yeah, there's a no death option, and it's to make sure, you know, anybody can just play. You know, anybody can just play. Then what is this game for? You just go on the game and you could just win. Now when somebody has difficulty playing a game, somebody's just gonna come up and be like, bro, why don't you just put no death on there? It's like, where's the challenge? What's the point of a video game? A video game. My name is Mr. Hardcore Mode. And I do like hard difficulties, but I do like it when people actually have a substance, you know, a thing to do in the game. If it's just nothing, where it's just like you could just walk right on through and just hit the enemy, is like, and nothing bad happens to you. Okay, I guess that's in the game. But peek this. Baldur's Gate 3 has a custom mode as well. Baldur's Gate 3 has a custom mode as well. And I checked. There is not one part in that area where it's just no deaths on there. Because they know that if you put no deaths on here, then it's just, you're basically just saying like, what am I playing the game for? He's like, hey man, I want to play this custom game. I kind of want to do more crit damage against the enemy. I kind of want their health lower. I want to be able to get better loot. I want no death, no death saving throws and all this stuff. He's like, oh, do you want to make sure you don't die? Well, then why am I playing the game? Anybody that puts a no death on this game will play it for literally 30 minutes. 30 minutes to an hour, because let me tell you something. You give somebody a game where there is no struggle, they will get bored so fast it'll make your head spin. It'll make their head spin. And you saying it's an option to make sure players of all abilities can show up. You can't be saying, listen, you can say whatever you want, but this is kind of some pushy shit to say, man. You gotta give us something. Here, let me maximize this. I apologize. It says right here, it's an option to make sure players of all abilities can show up. Well, fuck video games. I get it. I understand that people are saying, hey, that's cool, that's an option. That's cool. I get that. I get that, but anybody that's playing this game, that would play this game with no deaths, is either a blogger or somebody that just wants to play around for 30 minutes and then just come back. You can. How about this? How about you just set up a mod mode on Dragon Age Veilguard, sort of a mod installer, sort of like what Cyberpunk has, and other games. They just have a mod section where they're just like, hey, if you want to put some mods and, you know, put certain clothing or put certain things and modifiers on your game, we have a whole mod section for you right here. You can do whatever you want, play with whatever you want. But and then people can, yeah, do no deaths. They can they can shoot instead of one fireball, they can shoot 5 fireballs. They can bring their whole team, maybe, you know, let the mods play around with that. But if you just put no deaths, then what's the game? If no deaths is not a game over, it's the end to your game. The end. Somebody who plays through the whole game on no deaths will be bored. I guarantee you. I have never met anyone in my life who has played a no death, just destroy everything through the whole game. The whole game, they'll play around with it for a little while and be like, haha, I remember that guy because I struggled on him and he was annoying, so I finally killed him. It's like, look at him. It's like, I am a god now. They're not going to finish the game, especially for any sizable games that are like 30 hours, 40 hours. I like any sort of big game like that. They just run from point A to point Z. There is no B, C, D. It's just A to Z. And that's all I just gotta say, guys. I really do hope that there's something good that I want to see in this game. I have not yet seen anything that sort of piques my interest. I want to see more gameplay. The whole 3 ability thing still gets me. But I don't see anything good. Anyway, that's my hard rant. Thanks for joining me. I'll see you guys next time. Peace.